Hey everyone, coming to the end of the ISCwest content. This isn't the very last video, but we're getting there. I hope some of you don't think I'm milking it too much by just giving you a whole string of people I talk to at various booths. And a few of you in the comments, it's not too many of you, but every now and then says, "Oh, this is like just shilling for this or that company." Again, I'm not telling you what to buy. I just like to show you little insights into what pops in my brain when I'm walking around a trade show floor. And those of you who can't get out to, industry events like these, I like to give you a little view of what people are working on. I'm not showing you any of the AI crap, thank God. But there's like here's an example, right? This doesn't get its own video, it's just a little blurb, but I thought it was cute. Normally, when you have to clean camera lenses and camera domes and things, like that's a whole process. And there's tools out there for that. There's these like long squeegee poles, and some booth was, showing these to different people. What about if you just have a lot of precipitation? What if you have an area like, again, Pacific Northwest? Like we got a lot of rain and all kind of wind and rain and kind of conditions like that. If you don't want to keep climbing up ladders or just walking around the campus with like long poles wiping rain off your cameras, there was a company that had a demo where they're using ultrasonics. Like it's a little ultrasonic plate or ring around the camera. And well, I'll show you like the footage, right? I shot it in slow-mo for you here. They were squirting water onto two different cameras, one with this ultrasonic feature and one without it. They had a live video feed of each of these cameras so you could see what it looked like. And then here you go. Yeah, you can hear the actual ultrasonic humming in my footage. So yeah, it has a little pre-programmed routine that it goes through like a dog kind of shaking itself off after jumping in a lake. And you haven't helped me. It worked. Like it just worked. And they said it was, it's agnostic. It'll fit on different cameras. We can have different cameras behind it. So just adorable shit. Like that's cool thinking, man. I didn't remember to get their name, but I'm sure if you care about this kind of stuff, look up ultrasonic camera, water repellent, something. Neat stuff. More serious topics, though, as you'll hear, but the audio on this next one's not great. You'll forgive me for that. But I talked to a guy who was a sub-brand. He was selling a sub-brand of ASSA Abloy's products. As you know, school security is something that I really hit hard on this channel, especially when I talk about how school security being in tension with fire code and emergency egress code. That is a big topic. And I really love mentioning to people, like if you want a career that is potentially very lucrative and very helpful, becoming a consultant, really learning the code documents and being able to help school systems navigate all the different options out there, many of which do not comply with modern building code. Like all these barricade devices that are, literally down these different show floor hallways, there's other people selling these barricade devices, which are, in my opinion, not good in many times. But you'll see why later in this video, why sort of these night lock and other, you've seen all these brands, a little red thing that you drop on the floor plate. You'll see why they're popular. But first, let's listen to this gentleman tell me a little bit about these solutions that he's got. Hey, so Joel, I was walking by.
Yeah.
Everybody knows AA, but you are Securitech.
We are.
And you caught my eye with award-winning lockdown solutions.
That's right.
I'm a big follower. I don't know if you're in the Allegiant space, but Lori Green, she talks about code documents all the time. And I've been tracking the evolution of school lockdown rules, all of which have been changing, what you're allowed to do, not allowed to do. And the moment I started talking to you, you were on it. You're like, oh yeah, barricade device, no, egress allowed, exterior key. So walk me through why you got this.
So we came up with a safe bolt here to get around some of those barricade devices that aren't code compliant. Basically, for under $1,000, $660 list, a press of a button, you lock down with an inch stainless steel bolt. Single motion egress, no special knowledge. Key system carries over. We sell it without the cylinder.
Mortise cylinders, it looks like, yeah.
Correct. And again, you press the button, single motion egress, no special knowledge. 100% code compliant.
And I was going to ask you, button versus thumb turn, what's the thinking there?
I think the idea is that it's easy to use.
Okay.
Anyone can use it, ADA compliant. You can see here there's a bit of a play. Go ahead and try it.
Yep, you got a little sponginess still. It engages.
Right,
it's like a trigger. It creeps up, you hit the wall, and then there you go.
3-hour fire rated, shatterproof. Couple things we built into it. If someone inside of the room is pressing the button, the administrator's key will always override the button.
Oh, it will always override.
So
Interesting.
I am pressing that button.
Interesting. I was
Yeah,
curious
so
how that
no
was
one
going to
is
go.
locked in. And it's just a rocker switch. It's going to hit
Okay.
the roller.
It's like a large bar in there.
Yep.
Okay. Interesting. Interesting.
And
Makes
we
me
just
think
built
about
that in. And
yeah.
then you'll notice that our indicator is red and
Yep.
white versus red and green,
Mhm.
mitigate any colorblind issues.
Ah, very smart there.
Cylindrical mortise, this is our QID. Same idea, press the button, lock down, single motion egress.
So that was the QID. What's this fancy pants?
This is called the Lexi Lockdown Trim.
Okay.
A lot of great benefits to this. Hardwired, low voltage, 24 volt. What's great about this is our trim will be electrified through the door, but it will retrofit onto any existing panic bar in the field. Von Duprin, Sargent, whatever it is, we can retrofit onto.
Beautiful.
The idea is throughout the room, we have our lockdowns posted, active shooter, whatever lockdown situation. Control trim locks down, still free egress from inside.
There's a number of really interesting things you got going on here.
Yeah, it's our continuum, cylindrical, mortise, and electromechanical lockdown solution.
And it was around 660.
660 list, 1260, and then 23 to 3300.
Let's pause the video for a second. Did you catch that? Those numbers, those were not model numbers. No, those were prices, right? So you're talking in the hundreds of dollars for some of these solutions, up into the 4-figure range for the electronic solution that can work with your, exit trim and your panic egress systems. Holy crap. Now do you understand why, if a school system or even just an individual teacher in one classroom or another is faced with this question of, well, how do I keep my kids safe in the event of something horrible? Well, this solution over here costs $3,200. This solution costs, $32, or most of the time those drop-in floor sort of barricade devices, they're high double digit, low triple digits. But again, it's an order of magnitude, either way you slice it. So that's why we see schools and administrators and other staff and the faculty are like, look, I would love to have the super whamodyne, amazing, we can still egress no matter who's locked in, and the firefighters can get in and out with a master override. I'd love that, but we don't have the budget. So I understand the tension that everyone is in this industry. But if you can help people navigate these choices, if you can speak knowledgeably about this, that's what can save lives. It can save dollars and save lives. We'll listen to just a little bit more, then I'll wrap it up with you.
It is open architecture. It'll plug and play with the existing access control system, or it stands alone.
Right.
Idea for cafeterias, auditoriums, lecture halls, and universities. Also offer a RFID lockdown solution from, say, administrator, lecture room supervisor, whatever it is, can lock down while they're throughout the room.
So the fob or the button can both lock and unlock.
Correct.
Is the button hardwired, or is that wireless?
Hardwired as well. Or that is hardwired.
Okay.
And we also offer
well, it would be wired for power, but is it communicating on the backhaul via?
No, it's hardwired.
It's all hardwired. Okay.
Yeah. This is the only wireless access point.
And then you just have a little receiver somewhere else in the panel cabinet, or what?
Correct, in the power cabinet.
You see where my brain was going with that one? I'm sure some of y'all were thinking that too, right? Like, how many kids are going to try to capture packets with a Flippermeister in class and putting the school on like lockdown mode or unlock mode? I mean, that's actually the real scary thing, right? Imagine capturing the packet to like lock the building, and then some administrator has to go around and unlock the building. Good Lord. Could you imagine a future where there's like, we're not going to talk about something as horrific as school shootings, but like, could you imagine a situation where there is a panic event and students use their flippers, like that they've saved the unlock code to like get around the building and to leave? Like, I don't want to stick around. This is boring. I want to get back to my car, go to Taco Bell with my friends. Holy crap. Also, you also catch that the guy called it RFID, and I'm pretty sure that's just a radio fob. That's not an RFID token of any kind. But yeah, like, do I want to get my hands on that and see how it's communicating? Bet your ass I do. And we were talking earlier, as we were talking about the different product lines, how you have different handle sets, right?
Correct.
So you have the sweep back return, you have no return.
No return.
And then my eye was caught over there on your, obviously your institutional, your
A4L,
anti-ligature. Because again, as a pen tester, my brain goes to the underdoor tool. I'm like, can somebody reach up in there and smack it?
Correct.
Would you be able to equip a unit like this? If someone, so my thing is, this unit, the anti-ligature A4L handle,
is that compatible with this?
I'd have to look into that, but generally no. But we can
Okay.
look into that. Yeah.
I'd be very otherwise I'll just tell people get the as close as we can to a straight
Yeah.
bar.
To no return. I hear what you're saying on the reach under.
Yeah. And we were talking about distribution mostly through known channels. So
Known
a school's
channels.
institutional locksmith won't call you.
Correct.
They'll reach out to IML, IDN, somebody like that.
We do offer a free Try Me program. A school district, an office can try these free of charge.
Nice.
The SafeVolt and the QID, and no cost to them. And we see about a 90% success rate from Try Me to buy.
Is that a single unit? Is that a certain time frame?
Unit. Oh, I don't need it back. I just need you to evaluate it. Send me some pictures. Let me know what you think. And
excellent.
Yeah,
that's good feedback for you too.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yep.
Secure Tech. Thank you for saying hi to me, Joel.
Absolutely. Thanks
right
so
on.
much. Appreciate
Whether
it.
you're in school or not, stay safe out there. Okay. Hopefully, no one's shooting at you.
And yeah, the holy grail for me really is those anti-ligature handles. Again, they're institutional grade products. They are made for specific use cases, and that means it's all about that money, money, money. They are way too expensive if you don't think you absolutely need them. I'd love to just put them on every door to prevent under-door attacks, because the way they work, there's no way to get any purchase on that handle. Any surface you try to grab onto with any sort of rope, whether it's rope going around your neck or rope coming up from under a door tool, it's just gonna slip and slide right off. That's the whole way they are designed. It can't reach behind, it can't get a grab on anything. I think loads of handles should work that way. I think that would make underdoor attacks way harder. Are they always gonna be compatible? Well, you just heard, they gotta look into that. Are they gonna be within your price range? They probably won't, but I can keep dreaming. Maybe you're going to be the one making the new thing coming out at some point with an anti-ligature handle in a good price range that will work for school security and not cost an arm and a leg. Be my hero if you make something like that. Let me know in the comments if you got a company that does that. If that's your business model, send me a free thing and I'll talk about it on this channel. Either way, thanks for listening to me talk about this stuff. Thanks for watching me walk around a trade show floor in Las Vegas. I got a couple more fun things for you. The last couple from ISC. One's going to be about vaping, and one's going to be about electroshock stuff. So you'll like that. And if you like electroshock stuff, rumor has it there's something going on at KakalakiCon, a little after hours workshop that my friend Kiwi and I are cooking up. She and I have got some fun gear. We've had it at the con before, but in an unofficial way. I bet Australia, she might bring some of her really serious gear. I'm not gonna tell you everything, but if you're coming to KakalakiCon, this is going to be something you might not want to miss. So find one of us, and there'll be some private tickets. It's a limited entry event because the room can only hold so many people. But if you want to try something enjoyable depending on your definition of enjoyable. Yeah, I'll tell you more about it as we get closer to KakalakiCon. I hope to see some of you down there in North Carolina soon. Either way, whether you make it to that con or not, whether you're in school or not, whether you find me in Vegas or somewhere else, I hope you know I'm thinking of you. I appreciate you very much, and I want you all to stay safe out there.